What was funny was.
Hey, gang, remember,
Calendared.
Kiwi took this amazing
It's so cute.
thing out here, Kiwi,
Now,
because she's gonna be really sad. Last time we did eat it,
No.
she cried, she was right on my shoulder, and I can't take that.
3 or 4 of those cupcakes.
and I'm eating all the cheese, so. Thank you. I guess that's our cue. Yes, welcome.
Here we go.
Bye.
Bye, it's so fun to be here with you guys. You unlet me do that shit. I'm sure. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I can't. Hit my shoulders.
This one, body, somewhere. That way. Thank you.
There are no agents on this call.
Yeah, no, I was going to, but I have workers that were coming in my house and.
We might talk about moving around a little bit, maybe at some point, but not always have it here. Maybe going to Pennsylvania once a quarter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but spiritually, like, if someone can't be there, so it's suggested, you know, there should be a place for that. My opinion.
Yeah, you got me text.
Well, because it happens like this, so then the companies can go there, like.
It's kind of like a.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I'm on the-
I was there when it accepted,
Yeah.
it's like, for building.
It was me.
I just wanted to know how they was.
But then we were told.
Yeah, let me find out.
It's like that.
If you're trying to do something like that, for sure. Yeah, and I'm down if you want to like. And if you don't want to spend. Campy drive, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm gonna do one here. I'll work with you and some other people. I'm doing it in Sonoma, I think. Yeah. It's just, I have a lot of meetings this week and this is.
I know, yeah. I can get myself.
December is crazy for me. I don't think December is gonna be. A cakewalk, but.
Good.
Yeah, the Canfield Drive, they just, I could just do Sonoma and order one box, but then I need to pick it up. In Santa Rosa, Redwood, Food Bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to do one, and then I think they would deliver them to us, and even we could do all offices. Okay.
It
And
was,
then
I
the
drove past a lot where they had a food outbreak, there was lines out the front.
I know, something has to be done with the food truck. This, I mean, it's a basic human right. Like, what's going on?
They actually had a suggestion on. So it was on Facebook of like the cans you should actually drop off, because everyone drops off the same thing over and over again. Like, we have too much food now, but we don't have this to go with it.
I understand what you mean. It makes sense in front of grocery stores. Or high populated places.
I don't know. Hey, Tyler.
Yes. Yes,
There is.
yeah, like subterranean. It's very intense, like my eyes are watering there. It's like very subterranean.
Where? Oh, specific.
Where? Mel?
It doesn't.
Here?
No. Yeah.
In the walls, like the ventilation, like.
Yeah.
Where?
You know, we should maybe change.
I don't know.
Oh, it's the sewer.
Are you guys ready?
It's the sewer,
Yeah.
every so often it happens in Petaluma, and it's coming through the bathroom, through the. It does, and then it goes. We've got used to it now.
Well, Yeah.
I mean, unless you're gonna change the plumbing system.
Yeah.
All right, everyone set? Good. All right, Jana, Menina again. I'm so excited to be here with you guys because we're gonna go part two. I just want to do a quick recap of last week that we talked about being present. We talked about how to be present. We talked about figuring out how we were gonna start talking and what we were gonna start saying. And I wanted to know if anybody had thought of any of the ideas about how they are going to start showing up. So we call those our brand pillars, things we're going to talk about all the time that represent who we are. So I wanted to see if anyone on this group who's here or online, could you monitor it just in case? I don't think there's anyone online, but if anyone's there, if anyone had any ideas so far. All right, great job, guys. Okay.
I just, I just thought about it, and I was like, well, just. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where I want to start.
Okay, cool. So let's get us some starting points because that's going to take us into our next space. So I'm going to share, I have a blank document. We're going to share, and I'm going to send this to you guys afterwards. But I want you guys to really start thinking about how does this, what do you call it? How does this all, I'm going to stop my share and start sharing again. This is so annoying, this process. I want you guys to really start thinking about how this really works and how you can tangibly take action, because if we can think about things and we don't do anything, then we're still thinking about the thing, and we're exactly where we are. So for me, I'll tell you, I'll start with my stuff because I think it's easy for you guys to relate with that. So one of my brand pillars is that I work with first responders and veterans. That is my jam. I am going to serve them at the highest possible level all the time. But it's part of what I talk about in my service to people in service. So with first responders and veterans comes teachers, comes nurses, comes all of the people that you can think of, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, people who are in the first responder community. I really, really am passionate about serving them. Selfishly, my husband is a captain of police in San Francisco. He just retired. I started there. That's what built my business, by choosing one niche in. I just picked one and I said, I'm going to focus here. Mary, for example, she focuses on mobile homes, right? Primarily people who are right sizing or moving on, or maybe they're going to assisted living, or maybe they're moving from a bigger house into a mobile home. She niched into that space. So when I think about my brand pillars on my list, I would put veterans and first responders way up here. First responder community. Next, something else I focus on all the time is I focus on growth. You'll see when you follow me that like this morning, I posted about being the light, being the person in a place where it seems like things are so hard and you have a choice. You can go to bed, you can sit on your butt, you could do nothing, or you could take action. So what should you do? So my tips were this morning, you got to work on your mindset. You need to pour into yourself. So if I'm going to pour into myself, what does that look like? Well, my first thing was learn new things. So if I'm going to be focusing on growth, that means I have to educate my people. I have to encourage my people. I have to rah for my people who can't do it for themselves. So you guys are in the same situation. You have to start thinking about who is it you're trying to speak to, because then you know what you want to say. So my next pillar is always going to be growth and maybe / encouragement. The next pillar that I have is I'm always really focused on leading with kind. I am a person who believes in abundance. So if there were 10 Pinnacle loan officers here, I would be so stoked if one of them would take one bit of information and implement it. You guys are the same. You guys are all realtors. So how do you share with each other to create greater reach and to become a body of people that is making a better reputation and a better message for the people who are following you? One of you is great, 10 of you is better, 100 of you is even more. So even if you all went out with the same message, which is, we just say, real estate is always a great investment over time. That is a true statement. It is always a great investment over time. We don't have to say how much time, but if everyone said it is always a good place to park your money over time, as opposed to, you should totally buy this house. Oh my gosh, look at this awesome house. You know what? Totally, the interest rates are gonna go down. You can just totally refinance. Don't even worry, just buy this house. That's the dumbest message I've ever heard in my whole life. But it's what you guys are all talking about, maybe not you, but that's what I hear and see every day, right? So what if the message became more robust? What if the message became more clear? What are you really trying to get people to do? Why should they? And what ultimately is going to be their win? So we're going to get into that a little bit, but I want you guys to really start digging into these feelings that you're trying to evoke and who you're trying to show up as. I am always going to show up in leadership and mentorship. Those are part of my brand. I'm going to educate you, whether it's in social media or it's backing into how to get your numbers done or how to qualify for a loan or what loan products are available to sell your specific house or what a bridge loan can do for you or how to improve your mental health. I'm going to come from that place because that's who I am. And it comes easy to me because I'm already doing it. So all of you each have a unique thing that you're already doing, something that already stokes your fire. We talked about it last week. What are the things that light you up so that you can share that light with the world? And again, I urge you to not discuss your political standpoint on this business type page. And then my kind of fourth thing besides growth, encouragement, leadership, and mentorship that I like to do is I really like to talk about like manners, paying kindness, paying things forward. So on my old Instagram, and I'll start doing it on this one, I always will like post funny things and I really like kind of make a joke about it. So like somebody will like record me and like I'll go to walk and like I'll wait for somebody and then they won't wave and I'm like, better, hey, thanks, you know, whatever. I'm always like trying to like kind of make light of the way that people treat each other because I think it's really important. The way that we treat each other and the way that we act in ourselves every day is what gives us business. So I'll tell you guys one tiny story and then we'll get into this next little piece. So every time I go to the dentist, I'm terrified. I hate going to the dentist. I don't know why, I just have a thing about it. So every time I go, I'm really nervous and I walk in and there's this woman who works there, she's so nice and I feel bad because I'm always complaining to her about how much I hate the dentist. So every time I have to get dental work done, she holds my hand like a baby and we talk and I ask her about her kids and blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, I get this random check in the mail for $2,500. And I'm like, what? And it was said, paying it forward, please do something kind for yourself. I'm like, what? So my husband, being the super sleuth cop that he is like, this is crap. I'm sending this to the economic crimes division. This is a scam. So he does, sends it to economic crimes. We're doing a bunch of research and we come to this whole thing and da-da-da-da. And what do we find out? It's by this random trust account. So I get a check from a random trust account for a name I don't recognize at all. So here comes Super Sleuth on the title docs. I'm like, looking it up, like, who is this person? I look up the address, I find out who the owner is, blah, blah, blah. Turns out I get $2,500 from my dental hygienist because I'm nice to her. And she said, I swear to God, she said to me, so this is what happened. I ended up calling her. And she,
No.
I know, right? I ended up calling her and I said, I don't even know what to say. And she's like, oh, surprise. I wanted it to be anonymous. She goes, you are so kind to me every time you're here. You make me feel so special. You always ask about my kids. You always ask about my husband. You're thinking about my dad when he was ill. Well, my dad finally died and he left me all this money and I sold these buildings and I wanted to give you something because I wanted to pay it forward. So you never know. My point is, you never know in your encounters with a service person or any person that you are dealing with, who they are and what they can do for you, because that same person has referred me, I don't know how many transactions, that same office, just those people who work in just that same office. I've probably done 3 or 4 transactions. So count that by 6 times 4, right? Just walking in and getting a teeth cleaned. So I'm just encouraging you guys to consider the same. So I'm going to show you, quickly here. You guys, I am like getting used to this whole system and it is making me crazy. That's not even up there. Sorry, everyone who has to wait for me all the time. All right, here we go. We're going to go back to the Zoom, which is here. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to share the screen. We're going to share said screen, I believe. Maybe. Yes. All right, well, we're gonna deal with these today because I don't want to mess back and forth with this. Okay, so brand craft is what we call this class. It's pretty easy, so we can just talk about building our brand for purpose and profit. I would encourage purpose to be your number one thing, because as we build with purpose, you guys will find that the profit will come. And the more impact you create in the way that you deal with people, the better this gets. Let's see if this goes to the next thing. So, okay, so what do we really want? We really want connection. The whole point of anything social, the whole point of any networking, the whole point of anything that we do, whether we're being kind to somebody, or we're talking to a certain group, or we're in an in-person thing, or we're at a networking event, whatever we're at, we're looking for connection. And it's really important to understand that, especially post-COVID, people are really craving connection. I love coming to the office. I love that there are people here. It's so sad to work in your office alone or without people, like Randy was saying. I go to these real estate offices all the time and they are empty. And it turns out there's only a tiny fraction of people doing business. And it's the people that are in the office. Everyone else is sitting at home and they're lamenting about all the things, which makes me insane, but whatever. So we really want to have connection, and we really do that for a number of reasons. But my friend Brene Brown, she says, in order for connection to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be seen, like really, really seen. So we can't just show up and say, hey, I'm Jana, I'm a realtor. Who cares? Like, no one cares that you're a realtor. They care about what you have to say and how you can help them. So we have a few ways that we can connect. These are the 4 kind of textbook ways we connect. And you guys should know this. When you're posting, we don't post random cat videos unless cat loving is part of our pillars. Unless you can see a way to connect cat loving back to your business. We do not post cat videos. We do not post weird other TikToks that are dumb about nothing unless you can tie it back to your business. So we want to think to ourselves, how will we inspire, entertain, educate, or engage? So lucky for you, I'm going to give you some examples so you guys can see what that feels like. So here's an inspirational thing. So action is the antidote to anxiety and overwhelm. So I'm speaking to all of you. As long as you can move your body, you're never stuck. Move your body and you'll change your thoughts. Change your thoughts and you'll change your emotions, and your emotions will change your actions and your results. So step up and step off. So I love this quote. I find this to be deeply inspiring to myself, because it turns out I hate doing crap too. I don't enjoy pouring my heart out on social media. I don't enjoy talking about all of these things that weigh on me, but it's necessary for me to connect with the people I'm trying to connect with, which is you, right? I'm going to connect to you and understand what you're going through so I can help you. This would be an entertaining one. You guys, this whole realtor thing makes me want to die. You know, people say like, oh, hi, I'm Jana, I'm a realtor. No, you're not. You're a realtor. It's 2 syllables, not 3. And it bugs me that people say realtor. So I always think those are funny. And so like, this is something you could post, and it could be when you don't know what to post, because you could do better than this, but it's entertaining enough. Like, it tells people you're in real estate, you're kind of making a joke about it, whatever. And then with something like this, don't call me overpaid. Well, people, you're out. People, you're overpaid for what you do. So what can you do? Post this, and in the comments be like, you think I'm overpaid? Let me show you a breakdown of what it is to, and then you could say, rip out carpet, get this person over here, find the person to scrape your ceilings of the asbestos, get an electrician, go help paint your back fence because no one else can get there in time. All the prep that goes into that, or showing someone 1 million houses, and you guys could do like a math equation, which is funny, right? I made $26,000, but I spent 199 hours with you. How much did I really make per hour, per hour? Plus gas, plus all the lunch I had to buy you, plus all the follow-ups I did for 3 years to get you to get off the fence, right? You can talk about this and make it so it's anecdotal, but also so people understand in a way that they can relate with. You're calling out a thing. These are my least favorites, but people use these. I'll use them every now and again, but this is for information or education. So this is just an infographic. If you don't really know what to say, you can post this. I don't really recommend it, but like, save your down payment, know your credit score, find a realtor, blah, blah, blah. And then you can talk about this in your comments, because the gold is in your comments, right? Not just here. But if I'm trying to stop the scroll in information, I wouldn't necessarily post this, but you can absolutely post this if this is your vibe, but I would make a video. if I were gonna be talking about this. So imagine this, here's 10 steps to buying a home versus, okay, guys, top 10 things you need to do when buying a house. Number one, you've got to get a pre-approved. Here's what it entails. 2, find a realtor. 3, right? I would go quick, and I would go quick also, so they have to rewatch my video over and over again to hear what I said, because I get more views, which makes it go higher and gets it to more people, right? So you have a choice, but this is the idea. You're informing people, you're educating them. And I posted this yesterday. So in terms of engagement across my channels, I ended up getting, in like about an hour, I ended up getting about 700 impressions. So 1 hour, 700 touches. Okay. I got 30 something DMs. I got a bunch of text messages because here's me, and these are my 3 kids. I'm on the board of Sparkle Foundation. We support single moms and their kids. And I wrote something here that the thing I'm proud of is I'm teaching my kids to give back. So my comments here, and it goes a little bit longer, I just put a screenshot of this piece, but my point is here, I cover one, that I am talking about service. So teaching them to be of service as opposed to being served. They've been serving their whole lives, which now I'm telling people a little bit of my heart. I'm a service person. Here we go. I'm talking about my daughter. Here she is. She's on the board. Here we go. Next part. I'm in an address. The next thing people say to me, how do you have time? I do not have time to do this. I make time to do this and I give up other things. Next thing I hear it is like over the last couple of days, what we're doing, how we're doing it. Because now I'm not saying, look at me, I'm volunteering. Watch me hand this to a single mom. I'm saying, look what we're doing. I've invited my children into this. I'm inviting you to come do the same. You see my heart, you see my mission, you see my purpose, and you have an invitation to participate and do something. I'm calling you to action. That's the point. I'm engaging you. So these ideas where you are doing things, you have an opportunity to not make it a look at me, but join me like we talked about last week. Even though my photos here, I'm encouraging people to be like, what is she doing? Why is she, what is this for? Are they moving? You know, what's happening here? And this really gets so much engagement, these kinds of things. Okay, so we have some ways to connect. And these are in order, I believe, for your business. And we can discuss this. So ways that you can connect are video, short form and long form. Short form, Instagram. Hey, I wanted to tell you guys really quickly, there's a new product. It is 5% down on 2 to 4 units. It's awesome for investors. Reach out to me, I'll tell you more. Done. Short form video. Long form video. Today, we're going to talk about the new product that is 5% down. Here's the pros, here's the cons, here's who it would most greatly impact. Here's how you can market to those people, those investors. Here's some strategies for getting them to understand. Here's the math equation to use in multifamily properties so you can see if it really weighs out for them. Here's how you can encourage people to, instead of buying a single family, if they're on the cusp, now they can buy a 2-unit and qualify for more. I would make this and put it on YouTube or something like that, but you will see quickly, not only do I know what I'm talking about, but you'll see my personality. We'll start a connection. That's how this goes. The same is true for Reels and Stories. If you are in your Reels and in your Stories, this is a way for people to connect with you, and I'll show you one in a minute. The next one, do you guys know what a carousel is? So carousel is when you get to, and I'll show you, I can show you, you get to something, I don't want to share my screen. You get to something on Instagram and you have to like swipe, like the top 10 things all realtors must know. Swipe.
There's multiple slides.
Wear a name badge, swipe, you know, like that. So that's a carousel. These are really great because Instagram and Facebook both measure how long people spend on your content. So if you one line these, so you have to whoosh, they go faster. If you long line these, they go slower. So that helps you with engagement. Your Reels and your Stories show up to people that are not in your, that are not following you. So that's a big deal to get more followers of people that could be buyers, right? Or people that you can connect with. It's imperative. So Reels and Stories, carousels, and static posts are just like the one I showed you a minute ago. Articles and blogs are really great, especially if you're on LinkedIn. So if you can start talking about, if you guys want to move over to LinkedIn, if you can start talking about stuff that's really actually pertinent to people and not about yourself, and really how you can make them more money, because that's the point, right? We want to grow wealth. If you can start talking about that and expound on that and show people the way, then articles and blogs are great. The same is true of podcasts. You guys should all be looking for people to engage with on their podcasts. The reason is because when you engage, not only do you become more searchable in that way, it's very easy to talk to people on a microphone behind your computer. It's like not scary, whatever. And also with podcasts or speaking, you can get clips to use for your social media. So when you say something brilliant, then you can use it as a little clip and put it on. I have a podcast. If you guys are willing to talk about anything, not anything, but if you guys are willing to talk about something other than just selling houses, that's a part of you, then you guys can come on my podcast and we talk about all things money and money related, because that's what I like to talk about on that particular podcast. And the last thing is, and this is not this, I should say this, number 6 is imperative. So if you don't have a CRM up and going and you're not working your CRM, pack it up. Like, you got to do it. You've got to have the CRM, because all of this is going to generate traffic to you. And then are you going to write it on a post-it? Are you never going to follow up with them? The numbers are staggering of how many, with the percentage of people, they kind of vary, but it's never less than 46%, and it ranges all the way to like 83% of people who never follow up. So if you warm up your people, and you're talking to them, and they like you, and then now they have no way to work with you, you've never followed up with them, and that was pointless. Futile effort. So you have to put it here, and you've got to start putting your people in, and then you can stay in touch with your people with a newsletter, or you can just send them a quick note. Like, hey, Parmita, I was just thinking about you, whatever. Hey, Parmita, I just drove by the Petaluma office and I saw this crazy guy out there, and I was going to tell you, watch out for the crazy, right? You would laugh because I sent that to you. I just made a connection with you over something that took me 1 second that I saw. And now I'm on your mind a little bit because I said that to you, or whomever you say that to, right? Oh, hey, I do this a lot. I was just in Albany, which I'm rarely in Albany. It's by Berkeley, right? So I was there. My son had a cross country meet. We went to Zachary's Pizza. I did 3 loans on one street because I did one that I got 2 referrals. Cool. I texted every single one of them. Hey, oh my gosh, I'm over here on Squire. I just drove by your house. I cannot believe it's been 10 years, whatever, something dumb. I got 2 texts back, and 3 texts got 1 referral out of 3 texts. Great, I'll take it. So those little things totally matter. So I want you guys to know that your network is your network. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but how do you value your network? If you don't value it, cultivate it, nurture it, it becomes worthless. So you can have a list of people you never speak to, you have nothing, you have garbage. But if you do value it, it becomes priceless. So when you stay in touch, and I gave you guys all these touch points, social media is free and easy, and you can do it. And that's a great way to do it in addition to your CRM. So this like kind of stresses me. Wow. So I need to push you, but you have 3.5 seconds to make an impression. Here it is. We have 3.5 seconds. What are you going to say? It cannot be, hi, I'm Jana, I'm a realtor. It cannot be that. It could be, hey, check it out. Check that out. Or let me tell you about this thing really quick. Or this new update is going to blow your mind. Or whatever that is. You only have 3.5 seconds. But you have many opportunities for 3.5 seconds as long as people don't block you. So if on your social, or if on your LinkedIn, or if on your YouTube or whatever, you start talking and people are like, no, I'm not really interested in this. People might not be interested in Petaluma real estate in that moment. But you know what? The next time they see you, oh my gosh, my sister just started looking at Petaluma. Or wait, I live in Petaluma and home prices just went up 25%, whatever that number is. You know, those are ways that you continue to have the ability to make these impressions. But because you've been there and you've been showing up and you haven't irritated anybody because you're not posting dumb stuff, they're like, oh, I'll listen to what she has to say. You start posting dumb things, they're not gonna follow you at all. So did you know?
Qualify dumb.
I would say posting like videos that are not related to your business at all, have nothing to do with them or anyone you're speaking to, something that's like, there's a guy that I went to high school with that he like posted a kid eating a booger the other day and was like, that was like, it's a dirty world. I'm like, all right, like, whatever. But he always posts dumb stuff like that. There's nothing happening there. There's nothing beneficial for me. However, if it was a kid picking his nose and you wanted to relate that back to your real estate business, I have searched miles and miles for hours and hours, and I picked this one just for you. Right?
Oh my
You could
God.
kind of wrap it around a deal. That's what I'm saying though. When you start posting dumb stuff, people don't pay attention anymore. You become noise. But when you post things that are important to people, that's where you go, that you can really take it far.
Don't you gotta be careful though, 'cause like there's a couple people that post like really repetitive stuff.
Yep.
And that I'm like, oh, again, like
But-
picture of you posing on a kitchen counter with your nice shoes and your jeans. I get it. You're a realtor who wears a blazer. Okay.
Totally. So we'll get into that in 1 second, and it's because it's important to know that it feels counterintuitive to post about stuff repetitively.
Yeah.
If I'm posting a photo of myself presenting here and I post it 10 times, dumb.
Right.
If I post a photo of this and I say, I'm teaching a class called Brand Craft to realtors to help them grow their business, post, next post, a Brand Craft logo.
Mhm.
Brand Craft is guaranteed, if you take these actions, will increase your business. New post, right? I can still be talking about Brand
Right,
Craft.
but it's different.
It has to be different, but the topic can be the same, right? So don't be afraid. I think I'm like this for sure. I hate bothering people. So it's like, that's a limiting belief that I have. I feel like I'm bothering people, and I feel like there's a really interesting hierarchy in the real estate community that has lent that belief to me. So it goes a little something like this in your guys' world. Realtor, here we are, realtor. Lender, down here we go. It's somewhere in here is like the appraiser and the inspector and the title officer, and maybe title officer's like here because they do some crap for you. But like at the end of the day, I'm down here with insurance agent, right? That we get crapped on the most. We are expected to do the most in the shortest amount of time and get treated like there is this hierarchy instead of it being a partnership. And what most realtors don't know when they're doing this is that they're making lenders realize, back to our kindness conversation, that's how you treat people that you think are beneath you, whether you have a perception of that or not, right? You'll hear me talk about it. I'm looking for a partnership that we work together, because if I'm going to send you my very coveted police and fire clients, you better know that those people talk to each other. There is zero margin for error ever. And I have that client that you want. Who am I going to give it to? I'm certainly not giving it to the person who's peeing down the, peeing off the chute to me. I'm going to be like, oh, hey, I have this client. We're in partnership. Here we go. So I think it's important that when you're talking about stuff, that you do repeat yourself in what you do, but you present it differently so you can speak to the people you want to be speaking to. So,
I have a question really.
yeah.
Off topic. Well, you know how you're saying, posting like random stuff?
Uh-huh.
I actually have almost 8,000 followers.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to do that to grab attention, and then you gravitate towards, because I actually get paid on social media for social, paid influencer.
Yeah.
So I do that. So I guess it says it's a case by case scenario.
But I think it's like this. I think that if you're a paid influencer, because I've done that before too. I was telling you guys before, I had this big social media following. This is what I got. I got people paying me to like represent their jean jacket and their makeup brand and their whatever, but that's great. Here's a couple $1,000s. What I didn't get was, hey, let me list my house with you, and here's $75,000.
I actually get a lot
Right?
of clients. That's what.
But by random stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. So I would say that is definitely case by case. I would say that doesn't usually work. I would say that most people who post inconsistent random stuff that has nothing to do with their business, absolutely, they don't get business from it. Because you can see realtors, all of you guys can see how many deals what's the most deals you've gotten from social media in the last 2 years? Has anyone gotten any deals from social media in 2 years?
Pretty much almost all of mine are.
Yeah,
social
I have.
media.
You have, so you post, I see what you post. You post real estate related things.
Uh-huh.
You post things about your family. People get to know who you are, right? You couldn't just post.
Well, I follow I follow this thing it's called Stay.
Yeah.
Sell, teach. I forgot what the A is.
Like an action item.
Yeah,
Or
and then, no, stay, sell, teach something, and then, you.
Yes,
So you post something you're selling something, so you're listing
Yeah.
or a house that you've taught.
Yeah.
Then you teach them something, so home maintenance
Yeah.
tips or lender tips.
totally.
And then you post, I forget what the A is, but then for you, something about my kids.
Sure.
So I try and
Stay with that. So when people know what you do and you're
Yeah.
posting to that, and you could post a random picture of your kids doing something, but
Mhm.
typically speaking, when people are just posting, and I'd be interested, I'm gonna look at your social a little bit, but I'd be interested to see like, when you say random, if it really is random, or if it's really,
Really random. I ride motorcycles, I'll post I'm out riding motorcycles and then I'll post bam. This is like a little bit later, cause I already have like, and I could see the algorithm, I could see
yeah,
how many people, especially from Sonoma County, view mine, and it's like
Yeah.
5,000-10,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, you have to do it to grab attention, like you already have the attention, you need to keep the ball going. And that's how I've successfully sold multiple properties.
I think that when you get people's attention, like we were saying, like you have a few seconds to do it, whatever that is that your person would gravitate towards wouldn't necessarily be the same thing that Misty's person would gravitate towards. So it's not random to you and who you are and what you are about to
It's
grab their
5%.
attention. It's your personality that's grabbing them in. And then now comes the next step towards that, right? And like we talked about last week, that everybody has their own vibe, everyone has their own jam. So you have to always stay true to that authentic piece, because otherwise people that don't belong with you are gonna not go to you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have all these followers that don't go to you because they don't belong with you. Same with Misty, same with Carmina, same with everybody, right? So the same idea is true, but I think that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, that's why your client chooses you. Like, say we have a group of clients, they'll each gravitate to whoever they vibe better with. And I always tell them, if I meet with someone else, like, it's okay if you feel like, I have a group of other agents in our office, I definitely introduce you to. And majority of the time they stay with me.
Yeah.
Or I get referral word of mouth.
Yeah, it's good. That's awesome. So, have you guys read this book?
Mhm.
Have you ever, if you haven't read this book, you should read this book, Compound Effect. If you haven't read this book, you should read it. If you don't feel like you can deal with reading it, then you should read the Cliff Notes, listen to it on Audible, whatever. But basically, that success is the product of simple, consistent actions over time. So there's a lot of freedom in the discipline. Like I told you earlier, like I really hate doing some stuff and I do it anyway, even if I don't feel like it. Roger was saying the other day, he goes, Stephen King says he only writes when he feels like it. And it happens to be Monday through Thursday from 10 to 2. That's what he does. And he, produces these bajillions and bajillions of dollars of books because he's disciplined enough to say, I'm only going to do it. Real estate is that way. And most realtors don't show up.
But I
Most
bet
of-
he sits there from 10 to 2 and doesn't get distracted.
Maybe.
By the laundry. Maybe you should
Right.
do it.
I mean, who knows, right? I mean, he's human.
Right.
Right? Maybe he has grandkids that are running around, or maybe he locks himself in a vault, or like for me, when I'm in my work time, like right now, my phone is off. I am not distracted by that. When I am doing what I am doing, my phone is off. My distractions are off. I don't have alerts on my computer for like very intentionally, because I create these presentations. I have to work on a transaction. I don't have a margin for error ever. So I can't like tell someone, oh gosh, you're pre-approved, just kidding. I made a mistake in the math. I can't do it. So I turn my stuff off. So my people know that if they don't get me right away, they can go right to my team and someone will be there to answer their question. But that feeling of like being disciplined and doing the work is very unique because there are not many people that are doing it. Look around, not in this room, look around in general, look around at our industry.
And if anyone's interested, Roger has like a Cliff Notes version of this.
Yeah, you can, and if you go on like, what is that called? There's all these, they're all Headway. There's all these apps that give you the Headway, it's an app. So you can pick like any book, like Compound Effect, and here 15 minutes, here's what the book's about. I think like this book is worth reading. I think there are some that are not. The other book I think is worth reading is called The One Thing. If you guys haven't read that, The One Thing. And it talks about, instead of trying to do 9 trillion things and be crappy at it, what is the one thing? So next year, like one of the things we were talking about at our office, what's the one thing you're going to focus on? The one thing I'm going to focus on next year is I'm going to focus on my podcast, because I can make great connections with people in my community and my referral partners for them to talk about stuff and also give them marketing material, and also give them social media material, and also give them a platform that they can also share their stuff. It's a really, really good bang for my buck. So that's what I'm gonna focus on, but I want you guys to look at this because I think it's important. So here's the thing. When you post, most people say this, I'm a realtor, I sold 39 houses last year, I donate money to, I'm passionate about, what is the deal about being passionate about real estate? I mean, but this is what they post. I have a Lamborghini, I wear nice shoes and sit on a kitchen table with a nice blazer, I do all these things, I. This, when I read this, like you said, it's bragging. Do you guys think this is a good way? Because this is the majority way. I looked through every BHG agent's social and I was like, wow, that's a lot of eyes there. So obviously the answer is no, that's not what we're gonna do. So you guys take some notes here because you're gonna wanna do this. First thing that you guys wanna answer is this. What do they want? And how are you gonna help them? We're taking them on a journey. What is it that they want? Who are you speaking to? What do they want? The next thing you're going to talk about is what problem do they have? So I want to buy a house really badly. I do. I want to buy a house. And you say, awesome, I can help you buy a house. Well, then they say, well, I have a problem. And now you need to understand, what is the problem? What's the problem they have? Oh, I have bad credit. I'm not sure about my down payment. I don't know what I can afford. I think I might want to fix her upper. I don't know where I want to live. There are all these ideas, right? Of what problem do they have? And then you have to say to yourself when you're doing your marketing, how do I solve this? I can introduce you to a lender. I can show you what it actually costs to do a fixer. I can actually go through the nuts and bolts of making sure that you understand the area and the school district that you're in. So then the next question is, okay, well, who can help them? Who's the person who's going to help them? And how are you qualified to guide that person? So you need to now that we know what they want, and now that we know there's a problem, who's going to help them is you, right? But how are you qualified to lead them and to be their mentor? Because that's where the trust comes. I now need to create a mentorship with them so that I can show them the way. Like, here, hold my hand, let's go. I've got you, right? We have to first understand what they need and what they want, and then we can lead them. So then the next thing after we know all the things, we've gotten some trust. The next thing we're doing in our social strategy is we're saying, what's the plan for them? So I'm going to present a problem, and it might be a story problem. I might be telling a story on my social. I might be writing an article. I might be doing it on a podcast, but I now need a plan. I need a solution for them. And I need to be able to lay that plan out. Okay, you're thinking about buying a house. You don't have a down payment. We've gone through all the stuff. We've gotten you a lender. We've figured out how we're going to get that. Now, here is the plan to move forward. We have to write a purchase contract. We're going to get a gift from your mom. We're going to do this and that. And we're going to get to a place to have the plan laid out for them. And then you need to tell them, after that we have a plan, what do they need to do? What's my part? I have to go speak to my mother, and I need to go get a gift. I need to talk to my friend who's a contractor and find out what it's really going to be. You can call them into action here to solve their problem, that you've led them to all of their solutions for the problem. And now it's the ball's in their court. And then you have to really, this is where people who are brilliant get here. If they work with you, and if they listen to you, and if they do the things and they take the action, what will their success be? Homeownership, ending generational poverty, building generational wealth, the ability to then make more income. What does that look like when people buy real estate? And it could be the feeling of having a home finally, or whatever that feels like or looks like to you. And if they don't work with you, if I decide, you know what, I can't buy a house, it's too much, I don't want to deal with it, it's too difficult, what does this mean? And now here's an opportunity for you to say this. My client bought a house in 2020, and paid $1 million, and now this house is worth 1.5. They have been sleeping and making $500,000, which is $100,000 extra dollars per year. What could you do with that? So you have to show them that if they don't do it, there's a consequence to the wait, there's a consequence to the action. So as we speak to people in this order, we get to a place where we can absolutely get them to do what we want them to do because we've taken them on a journey and we've been journeying with them through our social. And every story can have something to do with this. Does this make sense? So if you tie all these little pieces together and you don't make things about the I and you make it about the you, how can I help you? What do you need? What education do you need? What further anything do you need? You have this space to do it. And if you laid it out, this is called story branding. If you laid it out, you could do something like this. So again, you have a character with a problem who meets a guy, this should sound like a movie to you, and gives them a plan. We should start thinking about Star Wars right now, and that calls them into action. And then what's gonna happen next? The results. I'm called into action, now what? I have one of two things. I'm gonna have successful results or I'm gonna have tragic results, right? Every single movie follows this. This is a screen, this guy Donald Miller, who wrote this, he was a screenwriter. And every movie that flops at the box office, every single one doesn't follow this. And every single movie that follows this has at least some level of success, some more than others. So when you look at this and you say, okay, what does your character want? You have to think about that for every, we talked about last week, that ideal customer avatar. Think about your person. What do they want? You guys know who your people are. And then with the problem, external, internal, or philosophical? Is it something you can solve with like, here's a painter? Or is it, I'm terrified, I've never bought a house and I don't know anyone who has? Or is it something that's like, I've got crappy credit, you know, like that's a whole different situation. Or I think owning a house is so dumb, I think it's ridiculous, and I think people who buy real estate are idiots, right? You can solve this problem by doing these things. So my last little bit to you is, let's do this. So I want you guys, for real, I want you guys to do this thing in our Facebook group to practice. I want you guys to make a video, and I want you guys to make a video that has some comments in it. And I want you guys to create something that you would think about posting that's an actual video of this journey, right? Or of some part of this journey. So you could say, like, I would create a video. I'm going to create a video today, actually. Today is a video day for me. Today's my video is going to be about two things. I'm going to make one in my stories, and it's going to be about the foundation that I'm on the board of. It's one of my pillars of giving back. So I'm going to do something about that. We're doing some fundraising for that, so I'll make a video about that. As it relates to my business, I'm going to talk about marketing and the importance of showing up when you don't feel like it. Great. I'm talking to people who don't show up, which is my ideal customer avatar, which is many people. And I'm going to talk about why it's important to show up. I'm going to talk about what it can do. And I'm going to follow this same idea. So my character is a realtor, just for this example. They're scared to show up. They have low self-confidence. They make stuff up in themselves about what's wrong and why they can't do it. Then the next thing is, I'm going to understand your fear. It is scary to show up, and it doesn't feel great to show up all the time. And it does take time, and it does feel awkward, and I don't know what to do. But I'm telling you that by showing up, I closed 40 transactions last year. Great. And every year before that, it just grows because we continue to show up. I'm going to be the authority. I'll show you how to make a reel. I'm doing it. And then here's the plan. I'm giving you guys a plan right now. You guys are all going to write your brand pillars down about what you think you might want to talk about, things that are important to you, and you're going to do it. Our plan is we're going to make a video. It's going to be 30 seconds long, and you're going to say something that is meaningful to your character. Once this is done, I'm presenting the plan. Everyone here's the plan, right? Here we go. What are we going to do next? I'm calling you guys to action. Come to my Facebook group. And the reason I want you there is because it's a very safe place and not everyone in the world can see it. And it's just your peers. I'm calling you in. And then when you're done, I'm going to tell you, if you do not start taking action in showing up, then what? Then you either are going to have poor success, or here's all the reasons why. You're going to meet more people. You're going to meet more professionals. You're going to network more. You're going to get more leads. You're going to be more present. And if anything, if nothing else, you're going to be a bright light for people to see and to follow. So there you go. There it is.
Do we get these slides at all?
I can send them to you.
Oh, thank you.
That would be helpful, because that one's very, the
Blurry
type's
on the
very
video.
small and like, it's
Yeah,
I'd like to.
Sure, with you.
I took a picture, but it's blurry when
Sure,
you.
with you.
That's also a great book.
Huh?
That's a great book.
Story, I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like introduce StoryBrand for real, like if I was like on class 6. Because a lot of people are just trying to figure out like, how do I even get on my phone to do it, right?
Just so everybody knows, if you have an Audible account, that Compound Effect is free with a membership.
Great. Good one. Okay, so what questions do you guys have today? Yes.
So you're gonna do one story or one of these videos and stories, and then what do you do on like your video days other than that?
Well, I like to do a lot of things. Let's talk about today. So-
Building a story brand.
Story brand.
It's just called StoryBrand. It's a book called StoryBrand.
Oh, there it is, Max Sukas.
No, Donald.
No,
Miller.
Donald Miller.
Oh, there's another, okay, there's 2.
Building a story brand like Donald. Miller.
Got it.
Okay, so let's see here. So
That's
let me
the
see.
German edition, I don't want
Why?
to.
I've been getting that too.
In your,
The German, well, in English, it's building a story brand.
okay, so here's, this is the stories today for me. So I want to show you guys this because, not because I'm like, oh, look at my story. Not that it's anything extraordinary. So here's my story today. I am showing you that I have a new post. And I'm telling you that I have a new post because I have a post that's on my social that I might want. So see, and I have an accountability group that I'm going to start. And it's going to start on Thursdays at noon for people that are going to show up. So I'm going to let 10 people be in that because if it's more than 10 people, it's a pain in the butt. I'm hiding, I hate how it does this. I'm hiding underneath my desk. I was actually fixing some cords, but I took a picture just to like be kind of funny. And this is my post today, but I'm letting people know. This is a cup my daughter got. I don't always feel this way, but I love the encouragement. My daughter gave me this cup this morning, best mom. Here's about what I'm doing. Do you want to join us? Not look at me, shop, wrap, or donate. Here's what you can do, right? That's my son. Look at his golden locks. Cross country ended yesterday, and that is a blessing. It goes from August 1st to the end. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. That's kind of, and I'll add to my story. I'll add something from today here. I'll be adding to my story. So, you wanna watch it? And then I wanted to show you guys really quick that when you post here, so that's the post that we were just talking about. And I just posted right when I walked in. I have some comments. So my friend Karen, she's a loan officer here. She wants me to sign her up. That's awesome. When you guys start seeing the people that say stuff, oh, that's nice, Pat Pearson. Good. I'm gorgeous. Great. Weirdo. But when you guys start seeing, then you start seeing the interaction. But you like, I'm posting to this and I'm linking back to this post because I want people to come back and see what I'm talking about so that I can make that connection with them. That all make sense?
So there's your Facebook.
This is my Facebook. I pop it on my Instagram right now.
Okay.
The other thing you guys need to do, which I would like to see this next week, because I'm going to lose my bananas if you guys don't do it. I want you guys to do your bios and make sure your bios are all accurate. So everyone needs to do their bio. If you need help with your bio, you can reach out to me. The Facebook group looks like this. If you're not in there,
Oh, the bio.
Oh.
In the Facebook.
I'll see you in a little bit. I'll see you.
Fine.
Okay, sounds good. So here's our group, whatever, and here's what I'm talking to you guys about. If you guys join the group, I'm gonna give you all your content ideas. So all you have to do is run with it, go with it. So hopefully you guys will join in here, and then you guys can also practice with your videos here. And then Sam, my partner, will always come in and he does these really good, such a dork. If you guys knew him, he's 6'5". And so when we go to places together, we look like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's really embarrassing. But we've been partners for 16, almost 17 years, so a very long time. And he does a lot of stuff with our loan work, and he does a lot of stuff with the market, but he will always be guiding you guys on what to talk about when people are telling you how shitty the market is. He's gonna let you know, like, yep, here's what the Fed is doing. Here's what's really going on. Here's how to understand this. Here's what it means to you. And so when your clients are like, oh, you're like, hey, just a second here. The Fed this week, we had a little blip last week, which rates went down really quickly. We expect something similar to happen. Here's the reason why. When people say rates are going to go down in 2024, Q1, like everyone thinks because we like get a new journal and a new calendar in Q1, suddenly the rates are going to be better. That's not true. Here's the reasons why. here's how inflation works. Here's why the Fed is dealing with inflation this way, right? Here are the indicators that make that stop. So he talks a lot about that stuff. So you guys can literally just repeat it. No one's gonna ask you anything else because you just told them the whole answer. So you guys are good to go. And if you guys have a question, then you can send a quick text. What the hell does this mean? And we'll tell you what it means if you're not clear. And then he'll always do a rate update, an interest rate update, and he'll always do a market update. So every week you'll have that. I'll post content ideas for you guys. So here's 5 things to post about this week. You don't have, you could always go back to another thing. We'll put it in the files for you. And then video ideas, I will make some videos. You guys can copy them. It's so easy. So if you don't have to think about what to say in the beginning, then you can say it. But then when you have to start thinking about what to say, because you start developing your own pillars, your own brand, then you guys can get some ideas, right? That'll help you guys to get off the blocks. Any other questions? Yes, of course. So tell your friends to join the Facebook group so that you guys can hopefully, I mean, I'm trying to build your BHG brand in our local area. So you guys have some competition with Coldwell Banker, Remax, Compass, Vanguard, etc. I'm trying to help you guys get out and build that brand. So you guys have to work on it. I can't do it for you, but I can give you the tools to do it. So hopefully that will be helpful for you.
And when you talk about the bios, it's the Facebook that you're talking about.
And Instagram and LinkedIn, they should match. So it should not say something dumb. Cat loving, I saw this, I swear. Cat loving superhero, bad man superstar. What are you talking about? He's a financial advisor.
Oh,
Shut up. Like, that is not what you do. Financial advisor works great.
so I feel like you just don't like cats.
I don't really. Like, but I do it's weird things. I mean, about all people, it's the weirdest stuff sometimes. But do you see what I'm saying? So you could be a realtor and you could be a mom, but you don't have to tell people in your bio that you're a mom. You could, they already know, they're gonna look at your content, but you gotta tell them how you're gonna help them. So if you look at, like, we did this a little bit last week, if you look in my thing here, I'm a leading mortgage loan originator and a financial coach. I do a ton of financial coaching because I'm trying to prep people to get ready to buy houses. I teach financial literacy to cops and firefighters to help them buy houses. I'm driving traffic to myself in 2 ways. I coach you financially and I help you get a house. Those are 2 different businesses that we run. Follow for money and wealth building. I just told them what I do, why I like what this is my job and why they're gonna follow me. You guys have to put like your license number and all that, like we talked about, but tell them what you do, right? It doesn't have to be, and tell them that you're a leader, right? You are a leader. You don't be top producer to be a leader. You could be a leader and be an up and coming leader. You could be a leader and be a leader in your humanity, not your numbers yet. So don't be afraid to be that leader and to put that out there for people. Is that clear?
Almost a tagline, but a little more. I mean, that's just very concise is all.
Yes, and the reason it's concise, I went to this series of classes and in graduate school, this is what they tell you. Be freaking concise. Don't like
Literally, yeah.
like, tell them,
Yeah.
this video, video, and they're like, what the hell? Then at least they know I'm a lender. At least they know I do financial coaching,
What you do.
right?
Yeah.
At least that's what they know. They know what to expect. And if they don't want to follow me for this, great. Don't log up my algorithm. Follow me for this only. Makes sense?
Proverbs, short sentences is like one of my favorite.
Yeah.
ones for writing.
And attention span is 3.5 seconds.
5 seconds, like this.
Yeah.
Like this. Any other questions?
I think, I'm just gonna say one thing about that book you were talking
Yeah.
about earlier, because the interesting thing about it, he goes into the psychology of how they make movies, and at 7 minutes in, this happens every single
Yeah.
movie out there, and then.
That
this
story
next
brand.
part
Story brand.
keeps you
So
hooked,
now when
and
you're
then
watching movies, go, oh, 7 minutes.
I've always watched.
We know, like, we already know what's gonna happen because, like, if you read Story Brand, you know what's gonna happen. I saw him speak and it was so good.
Yeah,
And it was really interesting because I think that people often will read a lot of books to get really prepared to go and do the thing. But I'm gonna empower you all to do the thing anyway, and we can, even if you're gonna have to suck for a while anyway, so just go suck, like get the suck over with, like just do
Oh
it.
my God.
Suck, make dumb videos, like retake it 19 times. You guys seriously, my first
And
video.
and when you
Scary,
suck,
I
when you
I
suck,
practiced
one of us
too.
will tell you.
Oh, good.
No, I
Like,
posted
hey,
something
work
by
on that.
mistake and I got a text from Randy. I was in England and
Oh,
Randy was like,
wow.
what the hell was that? I
Seriously.
was like, what? He's like, look at your Instagram. He's like, have you been hacked?
Oh, shit.
And I went on, I was like, oh, that didn't work out quite as well.
So actually, that's good though, like that people
Yeah.
give you the, yeah.
I would
I like
suggest in your video, like when you get your phone out, is it your phone?
Yeah.
Like you go like this. So, right, I'm like this, I'm like, hey, it's Jana Menina, and I wanted to give you a few lending tips. I look like a dum-dum. But if you go like this and you walk in, hey, it's Jana, I wanted to let you know that there's 3 changes you have to be aware of. See my comments, done. Right, done. Now they're gonna spend some time on my post. I want them to be aware of something. You guys, this is life-changing. You have to click below, done. Or here's 3 things you have to know today in order to buy a house tomorrow, done.
I would watch that, because if people start getting a little wordy even in
Yeah.
the, I just,
Yeah.
It's But if you move into your frame, right, so 2 things, if you hold your phone like this, you look like you have a double chin and gels. It doesn't matter how young you are.
That's me.
If you go like this, it looks like you're a porn star and you look dumb.
Oh,
Okay, so today, okay, but if you hold it just above, like this, not here, like here, so you are looking and look at your camera. Don't look at the middle at yourself, look at your camera. Okay, then the next thing you guys are gonna do is write down this word, Big View, BIGVU. It's an app, it's free. You can write what you want to say. It's a teleprompter. You look at it, it scrolls for you. Hey, it's Carmina with Better Homes and Gardens. I have a listing coming up this weekend and I wanted to let you know, I'm using my hands. I wanted to let you know, here's the things you have to see. So it's
Right.
It's a teleprompter on your phone that records the video.
Instead of reading your next word. VU.
Then at the end of the video, you can make captions for you. Those people watch videos on silent, big view, captions, reading, done, literally done, and it should take you 1 or 2 takes. And don't go like this, right?
Yeah.
Big view.
Personally attacked right now.
Oh, captions are where it's at. But we'll talk about that next time, when we start making videos, but make a video.
So you want us to make a video?
I want so do a picture video just to get comfortable. Hey, it's Sherry and I feel awkward and whatever, right? Just do something. It's good to use a tripod instead of your hands of some sort, because then you can like walk up, right? Like, hey, it's Sherry. I just wanted to introduce myself for a second. If you've never been here before, here's what you need to know. I love cats. And I look at so much fundraiser for the SPCA, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So if you walk up to it, you're creating an action movement of interest and you can do it that way and it really works out pretty well.
I might do the food drive.
Food drive, okay.
Yeah, because that just came up. Yeah, it gives it a call to action as well.
Is that something that's important to you?
Yes, you
Food
know,
insecurity is a topic for you,
it is.
Great.
You know, just and community.
okay?
Yeah.
So don't just make it about the food drive, make it about building community and call people in and say, hey, this is what we're doing and here's why we're doing it. And appeal to people in the way, like I will write about like growing up with a single mom. You can write about food insecurity and say, it is so heart-wrenching to me to know that there are kids going to school that are hungry. Right? Or there are people that are looking for food and we are throwing it away. This is so deeply important to me that I've decided to partner with, or I am doing this with. And then what you will do is if you tag me, it's going to my audience.
Oh.
Or if you say, hey, Jana, you can text me. You can text me like this, just kidding. You can text me and say, hey, Jana, I just posted about my thing. Can you share it? And I'll share it in my stories. And then now you have 6,000 more
Oh
people,
my God.
plus those people,
Wow. thank
right?
you.
So whatever you're working on, leverage each other for that, but tell them why you're doing it, right?
No, exactly. Yes. I mean, yes. I'm writing as you're going. Yeah.
Say you are doing an open house on Sunday
Uh-huh.
and you wanna do a quick video, be like, it's open house on Sunday, like, how would you set that up? How quick do you want it to be? Like, is it real? Is it post? Is it?
I would do both. So I mean, you guys love those just listed things, you guys are into them. I would put that in my story, first of
It's
all.
the easiest thing to share, right?
That's why you guys love them.
Yes.
They're not good.
It's not us. Realistic.
It's like this is whatever. It's really good when you guys have people in front of a house and I always look at, I'm like, do I know that? I'm like, oh. I love that idea. I love the idea where you like tag your escrow officer, you tag your lender, you like tag your people, and it's like a feel good post. Just listed. What are you talking about? But just listed, here it is. You can do your post, put it, share it to your story. So now the story has the just listed in there, just to let people know. Then you're gonna do a video, and in your video, you're gonna make that as a reel. And then because that's gonna go to more people than just your following, and you're gonna talk about a couple of things. One, you could talk about that house specifically if that's what you're doing. Or, or you could talk about that house specifically and also something about yourself that makes them want to come to see you. Not just the house, right? Hey, it's Rebecca Nichols. I'm gonna be at this house at 123 Main Street this weekend. I'm super stoked. It's very rare that you find a single level in Petaluma. However, while I'm there, I'm also gonna be doing this. Join me for this. Like, I'm also gonna be collecting canned food, and I'm going to
Really
be
good.
like something along those lines, or
Yeah.
warm coats,
Do that.
or whatever you're doing, right? You have a long list, and then you.
I do.
Well, you can make it right now. You could do a benefit for Sparkle Foundation, and you can donate money to that. You could donate, I mean, there's so many things that you could do, especially this time of year. It gives you a talking point. It gives you a little glimpse into something about you.
I'm sorry, I just get excited because there's an event at Cooperage Brewery in Santa Rosa, and they're doing like an ice skating rink. Yeah,
I'll be there at 3:30.
coat drive.
Yeah.
So I could be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm collecting coats to bring to this event.
You know, I'll show you guys something really quick. If you guys are bored, tell me. This woman, she's a new realtor. I work with her a lot, and she's so rad, but look at what she's posting. This is genius. Right here. Be a resource. Post this crap. She's in the peninsula, just so you guys know, that's why hers are far away.
Yeah.
But post yours, so people keep coming back to your page. Oh yeah, I remember Michelle posted this. So she's been posting a lot of stuff. I've been working with her for about a year. She's a new agent, and she's doing the things, and she's doing good, doing the things. She's making money right now.
Speaking of new agents, before you guys leave, I want everyone to sign a little welcome card to a girl named Christina. She's new with our agency. She's awful sweet. And I just thought if we all just send a little note saying, welcome, looking forward to meeting you or whatever. You guys, her name's Christina.
What office is she gonna be in?
This one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good. So you guys can kind of see, like, here's tree lighting events that are coming, because they're gonna start coming in quick. And then here's amusement parks and zoos that have stuff going on. So she's got a lot of holiday things. The people are gonna come back to her for. So there you have it. Any other questions today?
Do you always do a separate business pages or do you?
Well, it depends who will yell at me about it. Just kidding. So I have a separate business page that I post about interest rates, et cetera. I don't often post that on my own page. I might share it to my own page. But what I was saying last week is whatever you are going to maintain, do that. So a lot of people will have their real estate page and they'll just post just listed and they'll have no followers because they're posting nothing else. So if you're going to be focusing primarily on business and you want to use a business page, then use it. Or if you want to use a personal page, then use it. If you want to use both, then use them both, right? Don't let it be stagnant or it's pointless. Just whatever you're going to use for sure. Any other questions?
So is that too many steps to like, also promote that event? Or like
I think I would say, because when's your open house?
Sunday?
Today is Thursday. Talk about it today, talk about it tomorrow, talk about it Saturday. And like, so first I have an open house coming. I'm doing a warm coat drive with my friends at tag them, whoever Cooper Ridge or whatever you said it was. Great. Tomorrow, story. Hey, and then have a warm coat in your hand. Hey, grabbing coats for my open house tomorrow. It's at 123 Elm. You guys have to see this 3-2 single level, super rare opportunity. And while you come by and visit, bring a warm coat. I know I'm going to be. Day 3. Like, look at all the warm coats I got, or like, look what we're doing, or something like that.
Okay, because it's not my listing. I'm doing an open house for somebody else, so.
But you're trying to sell it.
Right, yeah.
You can do that. Yeah, I'm
Just have to put your info on the,
yeah, just put all your,
right?
Mhm.
put your digits in your.
DRE.
The DRE digits, the phone digits, all the things, you have to put the company
All the
name,
digits.
all the digits in the company name and what you do, you have to put all that on there. But, you can totally talk about that stuff and you should be talking about it.
Yeah.
But start now. Like if I was doing this class for the public, I would have been talking about it for a month. But every time I do it for like a big group of realtors, like the last time we did it, there was like 100 and something people. That group, I talk about it for like a month. I'm trying to get engagement for a month. Or 3 weeks, so you have a runway right now. You should start talking now. Based on when you're gonna
That,
do your
yeah,
event.
yeah, that's my plan, and that was my project.
Yeah.
Springboard off of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Set practice.
Yeah, good. That's it. More questions? No, awesome. Awesome. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, hopefully it's helpful for you guys.
Very helpful.
Judging by the, wait,